Good evening, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us today. This is going to be a presentation on teacher salary, not just teacher salary, teacher benefits as well, and a bunch of other lovely things that you get working at New York City Public School. So, without further ado. Before we begin, we have two of our great teacher recruiters answering questions in the chat. So you can submit a question by clicking the question mark icon that you see above. If you can, try to wait until we near the end of the presentation. We're going to be covering a lot of information, and I might be answering I most likely am going to be answering your question during the presentation. So like I said, we're going to respond to select questions, time permitting. Hopefully I leave about 15 to 20 minutes at the end to answer questions out loud if you submit them in the chat section. There are going to be a lot of QR codes that are popping up on the screen. If you can, take a screenshot or try to take a picture with your phone. But at the end of the presentation, if you missed anything, we can either go back to it or I can link you where you can find all of the QR codes that were on this presentation. And like I said, don't worry if you miss something after this presentation. Tomorrow afternoon, I will be sending a recording of the presentation in a follow-up email for everybody, along with a survey just to answer any questions about how we did during this presentation. So here's what we're going to cover throughout this presentation. We're going to start by talking about New York City Public School teacher pay. We're also going to talk about additional pay opportunities that you get that I know everyone is really curious about. We'll also cover additional pay opportunities beyond the base salary of New York City Public School teachers. And then we're also going to be going over the benefits as well as any time off that you get as a public school teacher. Before we talk about salaries, it is important to highlight that all New York City public school teachers must have a New York State Education Department certification. There are multiple pathways to obtaining certification. However, this session will not cover the certification pathways. If you're interested in learning about those, take a moment to scan this QR code that's on the screen. This session will also not cover teacher salaries in community-based organizations or CBOs, which are formerly known as New York City Early Education Centers. So CBOs, while they are affiliated with New York City Public Schools, they're independently owned and operated, so they set their own salary and benefits. And one thing that we also want to mention is that all certified New York City public school teachers receive the same salary and benefits regardless of their certification pathway. So if you went through a traditional pathway, if you went through alternative pathway like teaching fellows, if you're a CTE teacher, they all lead to the same salary structure. So let's get started by discussing the New York City public school teacher pay. It's important to start by talking about the United Federation of Teachers, or the UFT, which is a teachers union, which is the union that represents New York City public school educators, including teachers, paraprofessionals, and other school staff. As a New York City public school teacher, you have the option to be enrolled in the UFT. It was established in 1960. The UFT plays a key role in negotiating contracts that establish fair wages, benefits, and improved working conditions for teachers. The UFT offers many resources and supports for teachers to learn about their salary eligibility, benefits, and more. And you can visit their website at the QR code to explore all of their resources. And I'll be linking a couple of UFT resources here as well. So when you join New York City Public School as a teacher, your contract includes an assigned base salary and a salary schedule that you follow throughout your time as a teacher. Your salary is determined by two primary factors, which is the salary steps, which is increased based on your years of teaching experience, and the salary differential, which are additional compensation for completing educational coursework beyond a bachelor's degree. By understanding these components, you can strategically plan for salary growth over the course of your career. Let's take a closer look at the salary schedule and how it's structured. We're going to use September 2026 salary schedule in this example. So as you can see on the left-hand side in blue, the schedule is organized into steps. And on the row above in green, you're going to see the differentials. The steps represent the years of service and experience. If you're a new teacher, 1A, 1A is your first day of work, and it transitions to 1B the following March. For example, a teacher that starts September of 2026 will move into step 1B in March of 2027. You then transition to step 2A September of 2027. So teaching without interruption typically allows you to move 2 steps within 1 year, 1 school year. Differentials represent educational achievements and additional qualifications. The first prompt, BAC1, is a bachelor's degree and continues from left to right as you accrue additional credits. These codes will be defined in an upcoming slide. There are also longevity bonuses at the bottom of the salary schedule, which we'll also discuss shortly. With the basics of what I just explained, you can see that as of September 2026, all new teachers begin at the base salary, which will be $71,314. This base salary is the number in the top left of the schedule. It's the first salary step and the first salary differential. The BAC1 salary differential is also referred to as MA, as it appears this way in the salary application system. Once you've been officially added to payroll, which is your first day of school, you'll have the opportunity to apply for your specific salary steps and differentials based on your experience and education. We'll talk about that process briefly tonight, and you'll receive more information once you're added to the payroll. Let's unpack the salary steps. And just to remind everyone, we're unable to answer your questions that ask where you'll land on the salary schedule based off of your individual experiences. So if you're asking, I have X degree and X amount of experience, we won't be able to individually answer all of those questions. So the salary steps are incremental increases in salary based on previous qualifying professional experience. As you teach without interruption, you will move through the salary steps at the rate of 2 steps per year for each year you worked, increasing your earnings year by year. You will automatically receive pay increases based on your work anniversary / equated date of hire and on March 1st, as long as you remain on payroll. If you have prior teaching experience before joining New York City Public Schools, you can submit this information as part of your salary application when you begin teaching. It takes upwards of 20 weeks for New York City Public Schools to evaluate your prior work experience if you are a newly appointed teacher. You will receive a certificate of salary status via email informing you of your salary step increase up to step 8B if eligible and a new equated date. Please note that new teachers at New York City Public Schools cannot get more than step 8B, even if they technically have more years of qualifying prior experience. If you're a former New York City Public School employee and wish to withdraw your resignation, or if you're a former New York City Public School employee who wishes to return to service after retiring, and you successfully locate a new position, and you're authorized to return to service, you're entitled to return to the salary step you were on prior to your departure. After you secure a position and submit and receive an approval of your application for withdrawal or resignation, which authorizes your return, in order to be assigned to the appropriate salary step and equated date, you must complete a salary step application. Basically, if you're coming back to New York City Public School, you have to submit the salary step application again to make sure you're at the appropriate step that you were at before you left. So I'm sure you have questions about what qualifies as previous experience. So let's get into those previous experience qualifiers. These are the 3 categories of qualified previous experience recognized by New York City Public School for salary increases. It's substitute teaching, teaching outside of New York, and non-teaching experience. It's important to note that paraprofessional work, teacher's aide work, or co-teaching does not qualify for salary step credit. In order for substitute teaching to count towards a salary step, the substitute teaching must be completed at New York City Public Schools for at least 85 days within a school year. The 85 days don't need to be consecutive and they don't need to be at the same location, but they do need to be within the same school year. For every block of 85 days worked, one term credit or one salary step will be rewarded. Per diem service is only credited in blocks of 85 days. If you taught elsewhere prior to joining New York City Public Schools, your teaching experience must meet the following criteria in order to qualify for the salary steps. It must be paid full-time, a regular appointment, so it can't be per diem or per session. You must have worked at least one complete school term or semester. You must have been rated satisfactory if the school system gave ratings. It must have been performed in the work must have been performed in an accredited day school in grades K through 12, and perform the work after receiving your bachelor's degree. Now, if you teach childhood education, early childhood education, homebound, or special education, you may claim regular pre-K teaching service as well. As a reminder, qualifying prior teaching experience can only count up to salary step 8B. Now, New York City Public Schools Division of Human Resources or its representatives will contact your previous employers directly to verify your work experience and to make sure it satisfies all the requirements shown on the slide. For all jobs, even out of the country, it's recommended you contact former employers to alert them that the division will be requesting verification of your experience. If your work experience cannot be verified, your salary step increase might not be granted or could be revoked. And again, it takes approximately 20 weeks to evaluate the experience you reported on your salary step application. There are some instances where non-teaching experience will meet the qualification for salary steps as well. This most often applies to teachers in certain licensed areas, such as biology, chemistry, earth science, physics, and students with disabilities. In order to qualify for salary steps, the work must be paid full-time, worked at least one full calendar year in the qualifying position, and the position was reasonably related to your New York City Public School license area, and the work must be performed before the date of assignment at New York City Public Schools. Career and technical education, or CTE teachers, may be eligible for salary step credit based on experience as a practitioner of their trade or their industry. Now, I know this is a lot, so we are now going to go over the salary differentials. And again, just to remind everyone, if you're asking in the chat, we're unable to determine, to answer questions that ask where you'll land on the salary schedule based off of your individual experiences and credentials. But hopefully with these explanations, you'll be able to come to that conclusion of where you might approximately land in the salary schedule. So let's talk about the salary differentials, which are listed horizontally at the top of the salary schedule. Differentials are pay increases granted for credits earned beyond the bachelor's degree. Remember, they're not automatically awarded. You must apply to receive them. On the next slide, we'll talk about the differentials that are available. Differentials are paid as of February 1st, July 1st, and September 1st, respectively, for your work completed in the previous fall, spring, or summer semesters. For example, if you complete your coursework by January 31st and you file for your application by July 31st, New York City Public School will pay your differential in the fall semester with arrears back to February 1st. Now, if that's a little bit confusing, let me go on to the next slide. This will tell you about the effective dates governing your salary differentials. So if you if you submit your application on time and it's accepted, you will receive an assigned effective date and you will be entitled to retroactive pay from that date. Because again, sometimes it can take up to 20 weeks to process, you do get back pay from that process, from that effective date where you applied. So the guide above hopefully helps you determine when you must submit your application, as well as the effective date that you will receive. So now are the different differentials available to New York City public school teachers. So this is where the differentials are going to be defined. So if you want to screenshot them and save this slide, this is where these codes that get a little bit confusing, this is where they're all going to be defined. So again, C1 is the base salary, since all New York City public school teachers must have a bachelor's degree. As you complete additional credits and degrees, you will qualify for the following differentials. If you have a master's degree and no additional credits, you should be looking where it says C2 plus PD, or on the salary schedule, it'll say MA C2 plus PD. So that's just a master's degree. If you have your master's degree with 60 credits beyond, if you have 60 credits beyond your bachelor's degree, you also will qualify for that C2 plus PD differential. Now, on the bottom where it says the second differential, that requires a master's degree plus 30 additional credits. Now, the 30 additional credits, there are multiple ways to get those 30 additional credits, whether you have another master's degree or you have another, you've taken the ASPDP credits, which are after school professional development program credits. Those are recognized by New York City Public Schools for your salary differential for those PD credits. And again, there are multiple pathways to receive these additional 30 plus credits. So now that we've talked about the salary steps and differentials, you want to know how you can obtain them. Well, the New York City Public School Office of Salary Services, or OSS, use an online salary application process. You must be on the payroll already in order to apply for salary steps and differentials. So as you see on the left-hand side, the salary application guide will take you step by step on how to sign up for your salary application. Just remember that all new teachers should be sure to submit a salary application so that they can set their equate date, which would be your first day of employment in the system that they will be using as a reference when you qualify for additional steps and differentials in the future. And again, there's two different guides. One is for the salary step application guide, and one is for the salary differential application guide. So try to save these QR codes as well, so for when you're ready to start that salary differential process. Now, New York City public school teachers also receive longevity pay. These longevities, after they have been taught, they receive them after you have taught at New York City public schools for 5 years, 10 years, 13 years, 15 years, 18 years, 20 years, and 22 years. These bonuses are, these longevity pays are listed at the bottom of the salary schedule. The bonuses only start once you are a teacher. So if you have prior paraprofessional experience, or if you're in another position that offers longevity bonuses, that experience won't count towards these bonuses. So let's use the information that we just learned and apply it to the two different scenarios. So if you're currently in your 8th year of teaching and you have your master's and you have your additional 30 credits, whether it's, again, like I said, an additional master's degree, additional professional development courses, you would be at $106,907. Now, if you have 15 years of teaching specifically at New York City Public Schools, and you have your master's degree plus the 30 credits, you would be making $128,277. And remember, this is using the pay scale for the 2026-2027 school season. So these rates would be subject to increase with yearly raises negotiated on your UFT contract. Now, we're going to talk now about any additional pay opportunities that might come with being a New York City public school teacher. So these opportunities for extra income are per session, teacher leader opportunities, and annual retention bonuses. Per session activities are opportunities for teachers to receive pay for work completed before or after school hours, or on weekends, holidays, or even during the summer. Teachers must apply for each per session activity. There are typically specific requirements depending on the activity, such as maybe you need to be certified in math for activity that involves reviewing math curriculum. Payment for per session activities is at the rate negotiated in the teacher contract. The per session rate starting September of 2026 is going to be $63.04 an hour. Once you begin teaching, you can find and apply for per session opportunities on schools.nyc.gov career page. New York City Public School also offers great leadership opportunities for teachers, which provide an opportunity to develop leadership skills and earn extra compensation. There are currently 3 teacher leader opportunities. As a model teacher, your classroom becomes a laboratory and resource to support colleagues' professional growth by modeling successful teaching methodologies. Peer collaborative teachers, also known as PCTs, support their colleagues through focused coaching and intervisitations, designing meaningful opportunities for growth. Master teachers work closely with their school and/or district leadership to promote highly skilled teaching through purposeful sharing of effective practices, peer coaching, and the creation of a collaborative learning culture. And you can apply for teacher leader opportunities after at least 1 full year teaching at New York City Public Schools. And remember, all of these opportunities, let's say you are a math teacher. If you apply to this opportunity, you are still a math teacher. You just have this teacher leader opportunity on top of your current workload. The retention bonuses are a little bit easier to obtain because they don't require any additional application. Retention bonuses are negotiated as part of the UFT contract agreement to improve teacher retention and acknowledge teacher contributions. We've listed the annual bonus schedule through 2027. The payments are made to eligible UFT members who are actively employed as of the payout date. Eligibility for retention bonuses requires continuous service from April 1st of the prior year through April 1st of the current year. So April 1st, 2025 through April 1st, 2026, if you want to get that May 1st payment. And again, teachers, if you were already employed May 1st of 2026, you receive that $1,000 retention bonus. So next year, it'll be $1,035. So let's talk about New York City Public School teacher benefits, which we'll be reviewing now. As a member of the UFT, you have access to comprehensive benefits and health coverage through both the City of New York and the UFT Welfare Fund. You are able to enroll on your first day of work for these benefits. In addition to an array of health insurance plans to choose from, the UFT Welfare Fund provides supplemental benefits to eligible members and their dependents under 26 years old, which include assistance with the cost of prescribed medications, access to dental services, coverage for vision care services, reimbursement for hearing aids, support in case of disability, including maternity leave, and financial assistance to beneficiaries. You will also have access to a comprehensive retirement plan designed to ensure financial security in your post-career years. Here's an overview of the key components. As a UFT member, you're enrolled in the Teacher Retirement System, or the TRS, which provides a defined benefit pension upon retirement. This plan guarantees a specific monthly benefit based on factors such as your salary history and your years of services. If you were previously a member of the New York City Employee Retirement System, you are able to transfer your pension to TRS through the TRS website. The TRS also offers a TDA program, or a tax-deferred annuity program, which allows you to contribute a portion of your salary on a pre-taxes basis. This program provides an additional income stream during retirement and offers various investment options to suit your financial goals. As a teacher, this TDA guarantees a 7% return every single year as long as you are contributing to the TDA. And new as of 2026, there is a Roth IRA option that is given to you as a New York City Public School teacher as well. You'll also receive key benefits as a retiree, including health coverage. Upon retirement, you continue to receive health benefits through the UFT Welfare Fund, including prescription drug coverage, dental and optical benefits, and more. You also get legal services with the retiree legal plan. You also get supplemental health insurance, which through the supplemental health insurance program, which offers low-cost supplemental health coverage exclusively for retired UFT members, providing additional financial protection against medical expenses. And you must have at least 15 years of service in the UFT before retirement to be eligible for the supplemental health insurance program. You can learn more about all of these benefits at the UFT website, where the QR code will take you to. In addition to health benefits and retirement benefits as a teacher for New York City Public Schools, you also have access to several loan forgiveness programs designed to alleviate the burden of student debt. This is one key program, which is the New York City Public School the Public Service Loan Forgiveness Program. The PSLF program forgives the remaining balance on your direct loans after you've made the equivalent of 120 qualifying monthly payments under an accepted repayment plan and while working full-time for an eligible employer. You can learn more about this opportunity by scanning the QR code on the right. I also want to note a new program called Summer. This program is free to all New York City residents, and it provides users with resources for loan forgiveness programs, or if you don't qualify for loan forgiveness programs, they help you manage and optimize your student loan payments. So scan the QR codes or take a picture of the screen to scan and later view both of these programs. As a New York City public school teacher, you also have access to various discounts designed to support your professional and personal well-being. This includes gym memberships at Planet Fitness, Blink Fitness. You have cell phone discounts and internet discounts at Verizon and AT&T, and as well as many more discounts that are available to you. So you can find out more about these discounts at the QR code. Let's move on to another benefit of working at New York City Public School, which is the scheduled time off. I'm going to briefly touch upon staff development days and any sick time and personal days that you're allotted as a New York City Public School teacher. One thing I want to note as well that I didn't know when we were talking about the salary, but as a New York City public school teacher, you are paid on a 12-month basis, meaning that you're paid your salary throughout the entire school year. So when the summer comes, you are getting your salary, even though school is not in session. I know there's some confusion because there are some schools that only pay you while you're working. So they have like 10-month contracts. At New York City Public School, you're paid all 12 months. So sorry about that. Let's talk about the holiday calendar. New York City Public School offers an extensive and predictable calendar of scheduled days off throughout the school year. These include major federal holidays, religious observances, and built-in recess periods such as Thanksgiving, winter recess, midwinter recess, and spring recess. The dates slightly shift year by year, so we're going to use the current 2025-2026 calendar as an example. Actually, the first day of school, because it just got released, first day of school for 2026-2027 is going to be September 10th, with teachers getting 2 days of professional development days prior to starting the year. New teachers also have additional training at the start of their first year teaching as part of New Teacher Week. Because these days are set in advance on the official school calendar, staff are able to plan ahead for travel, family time, and any personal commitments. This structure helps reduce burnout by providing regular breaks during the year rather than long stretches without any time off. In addition to scheduled school closures, New York City Public Schools include designated professional development days throughout the school year as well. On these days, students do not attend school, allowing staff to focus on training, collaboration, and instructional planning. These professional development days are used for a variety of purposes, including curriculum development, compliance training, school-wide initiatives, and team planning. These days are built into the calendar to support staff growth without adding additional responsibilities outside of the regular work schedule. This structure ensures that professional learning happens during paid work time and reinforces New York City Public Schools' commitment to ongoing development and instructional quality. It's important to note that some schools may schedule an additional internal professional development days throughout the school year, but the dates that are provided above are system-wide days set by the public school system. New York City Public School also provides teachers with a sick leave policy through the cumulative absent reserve, also known as CARE days. Teachers are able to use up to 10 self-treated sick days per school year without medical documentation. These days can be used for illness, appointments, or personal needs. Within those 10 days, up to 3 of those days may be used as personal days with the approval from your principal. While personal days are not a separate bank, they offer the flexibility for matters that cannot be handled outside of work hours. Unused sick days roll over from year to year and accumulate in the care bank, providing long-term security and support over the course of your career. When combined with scheduled holidays, school breaks, and summers off, New York City Public School offers scheduling that supports both personal well-being and professional longevity. And please scan the QR code to be redirected to the UFT website, where you'll be shown more information regarding absences. All right, that was a lot of information. So we're going to be winding down here a little bit. Just some information that I want to share with everyone. I want to remind everyone to visit our redesigned TeachNYC website. Here is where the application lives. So if you haven't submitted your application yet, we do have a deadline coming up of June 25th, actually, it's in 2 days. If your application is in beforehand, you will be invited to a lot of virtual sessions, virtual career fairs, in-person career fairs that are happening as part of the application process. And again, this is a screenshot of the teachnyc.net website where you'll go to apply. So once you go to teachnyc.net, you'll click apply today on the top right. It will show a drop down for all the different applications. And for the teacher application, you would select certified teacher application. And like I said, if you're interested in teaching this fall, we highly recommend you getting your application in before this deadline. You can apply afterwards. However, like I said, if you apply before the June 25th deadline, you do get invitations to a lot of different virtual fairs that are hiring in the districts that you're interested in working at. So you receive vacancy lists across all the boroughs. You get invitation to in-person and virtual networking events with schools that are hiring teachers, and you get invitations to job search workshops as well. Like I said, I've given myself, I believe, about 20 minutes probably to answer questions. However, if your question doesn't get asked, if your question doesn't get answered, you can go to our online support center, our TeachNYC support center. You can access answers anytime, day or night. If your question somehow isn't here, you can click on the top right where it says contact us on the website, and you'll send a message to somebody from our team. It is not a robot that sees it. It is actually a person that sees all of these tickets coming through. So they'll be able to answer your question one-on-one if I don't get to it today. And one thing that I'll be sharing this link in the chat as well. If you like this info session and you want to keep getting emails about different opportunities and info sessions that are coming along, please subscribe to our newsletter, and you will be emailed different opportunities such as this. We are very active on social media as well: LinkedIn, Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. We actually post our info sessions on YouTube now. You'll be getting this link as well, but if you somehow lose the email, you can go back into our TeachNYC YouTube page and find this specific recording.